This episode is sponsored by BibleTech.ai, Scripture brought to life. Genesis is the origin story of everything. It establishes the foundation for the universe, for life, and for God's relationship with humanity. Before the 6 days of creation, the earth was an unfilled, chaotic, watery mass. The Hebrew text describes this state as tohu and bohu, a dormant void covered entirely in darkness. Over 6 days, God speaks into this chaos to establish order. He sets clear boundaries by separating light from dark and dry land from the sea. This sequence culminates in the creation of humans, fashioned specifically in His own image. The resulting universe is a highly ordered system, meticulously designed to sustain life, with humanity placed within it to serve as its stewards. The perspective then narrows from the vast cosmos to a single earthly location, the Garden of Eden. God places Adam and Eve in this abundance with one specific boundary. They are forbidden from eating from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. When they cross that boundary, human relationships immediately break down. Confronted by God, Adam blames Eve, and Eve blames the serpent. Shame enters human experience, followed by a divine curse. Yet within the judgment on the serpent is Genesis 3:15, a promise that an offspring of the woman will eventually crush the serpent's head. It is the first whisper of a coming Redeemer. Humanity shattered the perfect order of creation, bringing death into the world. But by immediately introducing a rescue plan, God provides the central tension that drives the rest of biblical history. The corruption introduced in Eden rapidly infects the global population. Human depravity and violence become so widespread that God grieves making humanity at all. This era is marked by specific anomalies in the text. The genealogies mention Enoch, a man who bypasses death and is taken directly by God, alongside the sudden appearance of the Nephilim, towering figures tied to the earth's total corruption. God responds with a global cleansing through the flood. Noah and his family survive, and God places His rainbow in the sky as a covenant guarantee to never again destroy the earth by water. As the population recovers, they gather in Shinar to build the Tower of Babel. This is an act of unified rebellion to make a name for themselves, which God counters by confusing their languages and scattering them. The pattern is clear. Whenever humanity is left to its own devices on a global scale, they default to catastrophic rebellion. A different redemptive approach is necessary. This diagram illustrates the narrative's pivot. Out of the scattered nations, God calls one specific man, Abram. Through this flawed individual, God makes a covenant, promising he will become a great nation, and through his family, the world will be blessed. Passing this promise down proves difficult. Abraham faces the harrowing test of being asked to sacrifice his promised son, Isaac, on Mount Moriah. A generation later, his grandson Jacob spends a night literally wrestling with a mysterious figure to receive his blessing, earning the name Israel. God's strategy to save the cosmos shifts away from global resets. He chooses to work through the intimate, messy, stubborn faith of one chosen family. The family's dysfunction peaks when Jacob's sons betray their brother Joseph, selling him into slavery. Against all odds, Joseph interprets Pharaoh's dreams and rises to extreme power in Egypt. When a severe famine strikes, his brothers travel to Egypt for food and unknowingly bow down to the brother they sold, fulfilling prophetic dreams Joseph had as a teenager. During their emotional reunion, Joseph provides the theological summary of the book in Genesis 50:20. He explains that the evil they intended was sovereignly redirected by God to accomplish the salvation of many lives. Genesis spans an immense scale. It starts with the creation of the universe and ends by maneuvering a fractured family of 70 people into a foreign land, positioning them perfectly for the Exodus and the continuation of God's rescue mission. There is much more beneath the surface of these accounts. Which Genesis mystery do you want us to cover next? Let us know in the comments if we should explore the Nephilim, the vanishing of Enoch, or the Tower of Babel. Bible.ai, Scripture brought to life.